Uh, I
Is this
mean,
podcast really amenities about USC or is it the harsh truths about amenities of USC? I'm confused.
it's just the honest student take about things that like provided by USC. So, hey everyone, welcome to Shreya's podcast, your ultimate guide as an international student navigating life in the US. I am Shreya Nayak and I'm thrilled to embark on this exciting journey with you. This series is jam packed with essential tips and insights specifically tailored for international students. I know how daunting this experience can get, and our only aim is that this podcast will help you to hit the ground running. In this episode, we will be shining light on some incredible, yet often overlooked and underrated resources at USC that can supercharge both your personal and academic life. Stay tuned and listen till the end of this podcast to know many juicy details and personal experiences from fellow Trojans. If you're an international student or know anyone who wants to pursue international studies, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this particular channel. Feel free to express your views in the comment section below. And to all my fellow Trojans watching this video, don't forget to drop a fight down in the comments below. Welcome to the podcast. Today we have my friend Santosh Nadla, who is a CS graduate, Govind Thakur, who is a CS AI graduate, and Soham Kandalkar, who's a CS graduate, and I am a data science graduate. We all graduated from USC 2 months back, and today the topic of our podcast is going to be discussing resources at USC. We are going to start by discussing some of the common resources that we have here in our university, along with some of the uncommon ones that we discovered along our way being a Trojan. So let's dive into the podcast and first, we will start speaking about the common resources. So, let's take one major subtopic, which is food. And food is something that is of extreme importance to all of us when we go to a new place or a new university. So, let's hear everyone's take on it. And what do you feel was different at USC versus your undergrad college? And yeah, feel free to share your views. So let's start with you, Govind.
Well, I'll just touch on the part where because you said we love food and that kind of stuck with me. If I kind of wasn't paying attention to anything you said. There is this ad in India where they say taste kahan hai, like where's the taste? That would be three words from my experience of food summarized in USC for the first few months, and then I guess I just lost my taste.
Okay. And can you dive deeper into what are the food options at USC? Do you have a canteen system? Because I know that back in India, like in my undergrad college, we just had something like a canteen. So which used to have some set menu every day which you can order. Is it like that in the US? How is it?
In USC, we had a multiple dining halls. I think they were called dining halls here instead of canteens. And the menu, as far as I know, was not fixed. I haven't been many times to the dining halls at USC, but they had pizza some day, pasta some other day. It's like a life counter. You get pretty much a similar experience to Subway. You can get to choose your toppings, and then you get whatever's on the menu at that time. There are more other options at USC as well. For example, at Ronald Tudor Campus Center, which is like a big space in USC, we have a few restaurant chains selling food. For example, my personal favorite over there is Panda Express, and I always get the chow mein and the chicken teriyaki. And yeah, and apart from that, I think that at in the Viterbicum buildings we have an Indian cafe which actually has a decent samosa chart. And my regret in life is I discovered that a little too late. I should have found that way sooner. But yeah, apart from that, there are many food options available at USC.
If you are like new to USC, there is a place called as Insomnia Cookies, where you get a free cookie for like 1 month. Yeah, so that is one thing. And also, people who work at dining halls, they get meal passes, which they can use daily, for their dinner or lunch. So yes,
You actually brought
this
some
is
very
something
interesting
about.
points. Like back at USC, and there are two parts of the USC campus, at least on Parkside. There's a health science campus that is towards downtown LA, different story. But at Parkside campus is another section of USC called the USC Village, where we have a lot of eatery shops, as well as we have a Target, a Trader Joe's, and an Amazon locker and a FedEx office. A few of the restaurants over there are, we have Mediterranean, Japanese, kind of all kinds of stuff right beside the Insomnia Cookies. We even have burgers for and vegan restaurants. My personal favorite of them is, I guess, Kava, which is a Mediterranean restaurant, and I love their bowls that they have. It feels healthy but feels tasty at the same time. So yeah, that's those are some other options as well.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, the Indian cafe that you discovered towards the end, I believe like it's RTH, right? The
Yes.
building name. Yeah, so just like summarizing what Govind and Soham said, like there are a lot of food options available inside the USC campus as well as in USC Village. USC Village is mainly very close to USC. You just have to cross a junction and go across the road. But you will find a lot of specific eating options at USC Village, and it's really like interesting to explore the different cafes as well as food options. But after a point, all of us do get bored. Like it's we migrate to different places. So yeah, that's about food. And Soham brought up an interesting point about insomnia cookies. So usually when we were new to USC, somebody had told us a code. I don't remember, it's sweet magic or sweet cookies something, if it still works. And when you download the insomnia cookies app and you enter that code, you get free cookie every day for a month. But it's extremely unhealthy. Like it has, I think, so many calories that if you eat it for 1 month.
But yeah, there is a
So
gym right next to Insomnia, so you have to just eat it and go to gym.
And there are also like two Starbucks, one inside the college where you can like if you want to like study or something like that, chill around, you can sit in the Starbucks and do your own work.
Well, so you know the saying, where there's a will, there's a way. Where there are students, there is Starbucks.
Yeah, but which brings us to the next segment because Santosh said that right beside Insomnia Cookies, there's a gym. Let's talk about fitness. So, like, what are your views on fitness in USC? I personally believe that the buildings are so far apart that if you just walk to them daily, like for 10 times, you'll cover like I don't know, 2-3 kilometers. It's not like India or like, any place that usually we come from, wherein buildings are just like a wall apart. Here, the buildings are so far that you literally need to like plan that I need to go to this building at this time and leave accordingly. So yeah, let's hear your views on fitness, Santosh. Like, what do you think is USC doing to like maintain a student's health in terms of fitness?
Sure. So, the USC campus itself has a gym inside, which is the LAN Center gym. And then we have one in the USC Village, which is the Village gym. So, both of them are equally good. Both of them have almost the same resources. But yeah, there are some things which are like available more in the LAN Center. Let's say, like if you want to do bench press, maybe LAN Center is the thing for you to go to. And the Land Center is also famous because it has a tennis court closer to that, and it has badminton courts inside. It has like I'm not sure a volleyball court definitely,
Racquetball.
and then if I'm not wrong, it also has a basketball court inside. So it's a very yeah it serves multiple things. So yeah, that's about the fitness thing for me.
Mm, I would like to add upon this. Like, if you are like planning to go to gym any like part of the day, I would suggest you to go early in the morning because it's like jam packed during the evenings. So I usually used to go early in the morning, like around 6 when the gym
Mm-hmm.
opens.
Yeah,
Okay.
for
So
me,
yeah.
I think I actually love the vibe in the gym, so I would prefer that there are some people around, so I prefer sometime like at 10 in the morning or something. So yeah, it entirely is up to you.
Yeah, I mean, if you find people in the gym that are interesting and they come at a certain time, find the time that works the best for you and go at that time. And
Yeah,
if you want to avoid the rush and not be around people or look at interesting people, then like Soham said, you can go at 6 in the morning, get your workout for the day in, and then attend all the classes. I think many people also go to gym in the night when they are like pretty much done with the day. So it's more of a personal preference, like whatever works the best for you and your schedule. Also, both the gyms have like specific timings. We'll provide links to that, all of that in the description, like all everything that we spoke about, which is in USC and which can be accessed via links like food as well as fitness. So that I think the gym also, like Santosh mentioned, has courts attached to it, which you can book, like a squash court. So you can reserve that particular squash court for an hour or two if you want to play a game with your friends. And there are towels that they rent out at the gym. So if, in case you are too lazy to get it from home, you can pay an extra $20 a year and then they'll just provide you with fresh towels. And they also have like equipment such as, I think badminton rackets are free at the gym,
yeah.
but you need to pay for the shuttles, and also I think squash rackets are usually provided at the gym, but by the time we graduated, they had been like handled so badly that they didn't have any left.
If I
But
may,
Yeah,
at this section at this point, but Santosh, I'll get it to you, but I am a very big squash fan, and I would really like to butt in and say that here it's called racquetball, and that's not the same as squash.
okay,
It's like, yeah, as a squash player, I take offense. Yeah,
sorry, Govind.
yeah.
but yeah, like Shreya said, like the rackets were so messed up that I usually go to the gym and then I see that there are a couple of students who play racquetball with the tennis rackets. So that's usually the case. And to add up onto that, the gyms also have a pool attached to that. So that is a very good resource if you're into swimming. And there are, I think, if I'm not wrong, three pools across the USC campus. And the bigger one is in the land center. So you
Yeah.
Also, one important point to take into consideration is that you can only use gym if you have registered for the course. Uh, there are people who don't take during the summer and they have to pay a certain amount of fee to use the
I think
gym.
it's usually 60, $70 for the students, and if you
Yeah.
have already graduated, then you'll become an alumni, and then you have to go for this year at least it's $130.
Yeah, and that's a very good point, Soham, because many a times, like people are usually free during the summer when they don't have courses, and they're like, okay, now we'll go gymming, and then they go to the gym and they're like $60, and then nobody wants to pay that, and then everyone's like, it's fine, we'll just do something at home or uh, like work out on our own. So that's what happens. But even about gymming, before entering the gym, there is an entire procedure where you have to like scan a QR code and like I think fill out a form. It's called a waiver form here for everything that you do. Even if you go to a museum or a bookstore, they make you sign a waiver that we are not responsible for so and so. So that's what happens in the gym too. It's a common thing, and you need to do that. And every time you enter the gym, the access is through the USC cards. So you just have to scan the card, and then you have entry to the gym. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but that's about the gym. Also about the pool, I think Santosh, you didn't mention that one of the pools is Olympic size. So if somebody like pursues swimming like nationally or is passionate about it, they can actually get that experience of swimming in an Olympic pool. And
But I think even in order to like try it out, you have to be able to complete at least one lap. If not, they will not allow you to enter the pool. So just be mindful of that.
But yeah, there's a takeaway from what we learned in our college, guys. The watchman was right. Don't forget your ID card at home if you wanted to have a life at USC.
all SVKM peeps know it. But yeah. So, moving on to the next segment, which is libraries. It was one of the most common resources at USC, and I believe, like before coming to USC, I had read up on this online that there are, I think, 14 to 20 libraries in the USC campus. I think, despite being in USC for 2 years, I was able to see only 5 or 6 of them. But I believe that the libraries in USC, they are a vibe, not because like you only go there to study, but also like different libraries have different architectural styles to them. So I'll speak about 2 or 3 of them. The first one is Levy Library. We all did our on campus at the basement of Levy Library, which was USC ITS. And as a part of USC ITS, it's located in the basement of Levy Library, where all the students sit with their laptops and are either coding, doing lead code, or either they are using the whiteboards to discuss something and do. So Levy Library is a place.
My second home.
Yeah, I think all of our second home, because we used to be there for our on-campus 20 hours a week straight. So yeah, Levy
And then
Library.
studying the remaining times of 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
You can get printouts from Levy Library because they have WEPA printers there. By the time we graduated, there was also a gaming room, which we never got to use, but whichever Trojan gets to use it, good. And there
Please
was a
comment if
gaming
you got to
room.
use it.
Yeah, please let us know if you ever actually got to use the gaming room, because we never did, and we always were anticipating it's going to open now, it's going to open now. And then there's a podcast room in the library. There are collab rooms. Collab rooms is basically where people can book it with their friends or their for students and just study if they want to. There is a whiteboard, there is a big monitor where you can like attach your laptop and just, screen share stuff and commonly discuss things or solve exam related questions or do the preparation that you need with a group of people around you. Usually you can book it for around, I believe, 2 hours at a stretch, but I don't know the policies now. They might have updated, but at our time it was 2 hours. So that's about the Levy Library. And also, one cool thing about Levy Library is that it's open 24 hours during the final exam time. And many people are just sitting there. They don't even go home. They just use the Levy Library, go to Starbucks, get coffee and keep studying. So that's why I said it's a vibe. Then moving on to Doheny Library, the fun thing about Doheny is that in front of Doheny there is USC written in the grass. So it's a very beautiful spot for pictures when you're taking drone shots for your graduation photo shoot and all of that. Also, if you go inside Doheny, many people say it's like Hogwarts because it's architecturally so beautiful. And the one drawback that I found about Doheny was there are not enough charging points. So if you're somebody whose like masters requires you to be on a laptop and keep coding, I would say that Doheny Library isn't like the most charger friendly place, and there are no collab rooms in Doheny Library that I know of. So it's more like a place for people who are in the film school, because there are a lot of film related stuff that they have kept in their basement. You can go there and see different movies, different directors and producers who are from the USC Film School, which is very well known. Then moving on to the third library, which is one of my favorites, it's the Mud Hall of Philosophy Library. And when you go to that library, it is a smaller, I think the smallest library out of these three, but it's so beautiful that you have seating spaces amidst books, and there is a fireplace. But the timings of that library are extremely odd, because of which you cannot generally go there like on the regular hours. Like I try to like visit it when I want to, and still I can't go because either the building was under construction or something or the other was happening. So these are three of my most favorite libraries in USC. But yeah, there are several more. You can just access it via the link that we'll be attaching below. But yeah, I won't bore you with the library stuff. Let's like Soham, do
Also,
you
to
have
add on this, like different libraries have their different vibes. If you want like
Mm.
Doheny Library is one where you should go. While if you want, like, I'm one of those people who like want people around them. I
Hmm.
don't like quiet places to study. So the Levy
He was
basement
one
is
of
one
those, and
place.
then he dropped.
Yeah.
Levy basement is one of those where you can like see many people around and yeah.
Apart from libraries, we also have computing centers where you can just go and log into any of the systems and just start working. So that is a very useful resource. And yeah, coming to the collab rooms itself, there are two kinds. One in the Levy basement where you can just go and book them there and then. There is no advance booking for them. And then there are also other collab rooms on other floors. There are, I think, three floors, if I'm not wrong. And then there you can book them in advance up to a week, if I'm not wrong. So yeah.
yeah. So everything generally collab rooms and all can be booked online. We'll be putting a lot of links in the description. And if you have any specific questions, please feel free to like drop it in the comments and we'll try to address it the best we can. But an interesting point that Santosh brought up was computing centers. There are two major computing centers. At our time, it was WPH and KOH. The two buildings, I'm using the abbreviation King's Hall and Walter Phillips.
Wait, Phillips Hall.
Wait, Phillips Hall.
There are
Yeah.
actually a few more there, Shreya. There's one at the Viterbi one. I just know it because I had to. My on-campus took me there. ITS. There's one at Salvatore Science Center. There's a couple of there, and in fact, you don't even have to go to these computing centers if you need like GPU access or something like that. There, USC is
Yeah.
launching a new program called CARC that provides GPUs on demand online. You can compute stuff online. So
Why do I feel we are promoting USC for free?
we're talking about our experience, which could be an advertisement. So
But yeah, definitely like those computing centers are useful when you take subjects like natural language processing or deep learning where they require your like laptop GPU to be so strong that at times you can't just upgrade your laptop for one project. So ending this topic here about the common resources which are there at USC and diving into the unique stuff which our experiences have taught us and which we want to share with everyone, like what you call as the tips and tricks of navigating the student life at USC in a way. So let's get started. Who wants to go first? Okay, Govind, go.
I'll go first. There are a couple of things actually, but I'll take some, leave the others for the rest. My mind's gonna be about the bookstore. So first of all, as soon as you join, if you're a fall admit, then you will be joining around August, and around those months, there's also if you're lucky, there's gonna be a USC bookstore sale where they'll sell all your stuff like for dirt cheap. Like it's like a whole T-shirt for like $5 and if you go into the store it's like $650 to $60. So that's a big thing. If you miss if you happen to miss the bookstore sale, or if there isn't any, but you have to take some souvenirs for your family back home, be sure to be friends with someone who works at the USC bookstore because they can avail a 30% discount at any purchase that you make. So
Employee
if they tell,
discount.
that's the employee discount that they get. Exactly. Another thing I would be on the lookout for, I didn't follow Shreya's advice about don't upgrade your laptop. I actually upgraded my laptop and I regret it maybe now. But what I didn't regret that time was that Apple had, like, USC bookstore had tax-free days on Apple products, which means you don't pay tax on Apple stuff. I mean, if you take a MacBook that's for like $1,000, you're paying almost $100 as tax. You don't pay that. So I mean, you get stuff for much cheaper. It comes at the cost of that you won't get Apple Care on your MacBooks. If that's like a deal breaker for you, maybe not. I paid the price for it, but I'm still okay. But yeah, definitely you can get Apple products at a lot cheaper during the tax-free days at bookstore. So be sure to check that out. Be sure to be like to follow around the bookstore. Come to like find out when those dates are coming. Probably they are somewhere close to the Black Friday, but again, you have to confirm that.
the funny thing about USC Bookstore is books are the last thing you get at USC Bookstore. It's like
Oh yeah.
everything else except the books. But yeah, I think you covered really good points, Govind, about the bookstore and the tax-free day. Let's move on to Santosh. Like, do you have anything that you feel was like an unique resource that USC provided?
Sure. Just adding on to the bookstore part, I think like if you're looking for an on-campus bookstore should be the first place to go as well. That is like because they usually have some openings available. And coming to the unique resources, if you want to save some money and if you're frugal about it, scratch everything that Govind and Soham has said about food, and don't go to any of these restaurants. Just install an app called EngageSC. That's the official USC app for all the events that are happening at USC. And there are people who actually go every day without spending a single buck on food. USC has
We know
events.
those people.
So yeah, you can just install and then register for those events and then just go there. It's also a good networking place to be at, not just for food. So I have gone to a couple of them, and there is something called as vegan food at URC University Religious Center, if I'm not wrong. Every Tuesday you'll get vegan food, which is good, and like I would say just install the app and then discover the list of events and then you will be set for the semester.
Shreya, I
Uh,
think your podcast deserves like a whole separate track called Hacks with Santosh.
yeah.
Okay, like whoever's editing your podcast, they should put like hack time, and Santosh is speaking at that time.
So, Santosh mentioned URC University Religious Center. It had this program which they call Jubilee Cafe. So, they used to provide food from 11 to 12 in the afternoon every Tuesday. And like people used to line up for it like from 15 minutes before. And many people used to lie like, oh, we have lectures, and then just skip the big line and go take food and leave or maybe home. But yeah,
Yeah,
anyways,
don't do
the
that.
Jubilee,
Yeah, just respect the queue. That is one thing that like is
Yeah,
offensive to the people here. Just don't do that and then just stick to the queue.
yeah, just
I
let
would
us do it.
say that people here also break the queue. Like I've seen so many people who like we have this thing that okay, we are the only ones who do it usually, like Indians, and people look down on Indians for that. But when I came to the US, I saw that people from many nationalities do that. So it's
Yeah.
not just like a Indian thing. I think it's just a human tendency to be like, why should I wait for so long when I can just cut and get it done faster? But anyways, Jubilee Cafe, food wise, I would say at times it was okay. Most of the times they used to give very little quantity in food. So it can't be like enough for one person unless you take two servings. Like they used to give lettuce, corn, and like they had different menus every week. But I would say that it's a good snack option. But I can't say that you can manage your lunch with it. If not, there are other free food events which will happen on EngageSC. And if you are there at that event at the right time, you can get pizza, you can get boba, you can get burgers. There are also in and out food trucks which come to our college every time. But sadly, because they do not have vegetarian options, most of the vegetarian students end up having just and grilled cheese and a burger, which like even I used to do, even though I'm a non-vegetarian, because the meats were usually beef and pork, which is a concern for like me, and I couldn't have that, so because of that. But yeah, these are some tricks related to food. And I think one more interesting thing related to food, Santosh, if you would want to explain, was the basic
Uh,
needs.
Yeah, the groceries. You're right. So USC also has this program called as Basic Needs, and
I'm always right. Hashtag I'm always right.
so yeah, and that is a good resource. Like it gives free groceries for the students. You have to just register for the program, and then I think it runs 2 days in a week, and then you can just go and get your groceries. And they also, if I'm not wrong, give you the not dishwasher. Not the dishwasher liquid. They give you the, I think the
Detergent.
detergent
Laundry.
laundry liquids, and yeah, it's a very good resource, but yeah, don't they don't provide the resources that most of the Indian students will need. Like, I think they have given dal once in the entire 2 years when I was there, but apart from that, they just give, if I'm not wrong, mac and cheese, and there are the canned foods, canned beans, canned carrots, and stuff like that. They are usually not that good. So take whatever you want to eat, and then just tell them that the other stuff you don't even require.
I would like to add to that. Like earlier, I was not that wise about, choosing what I want. And as a result, I had so many cans of food lying at my house. And I never used them as much. So, like after that, whenever I started going, I was like, okay, if there is cereal, I would take only the cereal which I want. And at times they have things like canned fruits and stuff which I never used to eat, so I never used to take them. But they also have interesting things, like they have instant noodles that they provide in like chicken and vegan flavors. So the hack could be that if you have Maggi masala, which is from India, and then you take a noodle pack from there and just add that masala, it's almost as good as Maggi. So that is something I've done a lot of times, and I've used those noodles. You also get like chickpeas and kidney beans in those cans. So I used to use them to make chole, rajma many a times. But yeah, overall, I would say it will cover one or two meals in the entire week, but not more than that. But it's a nice thing that you can go and at least explore some variety, like a cereal you have never eaten before, because they'll give small tetra packs of those cereals, and then you can just try it for free, basically. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's about.
just to add on that, if you're a vegetarian, then be specific to check the ingredients. There will be someone to assist you while picking up the stuff, and even though they say that it's vegetarian, it's vegan, sometimes it usually will not be the case. And even the food, it can contain something called as animal rennet, which is extracted from baby calves. This is used to make cheese, and oftentimes people just end up eating that without even realizing it. So if you're worried about these things, just make sure to check the ingredients before taking the items.
Yeah, that's a really good hack, because I know many people who are vegetarian or vegan, and they literally have to check the ingredients on every item in the US, because here even egg is considered super normal. So even if you go to Subway and order something that's vegetarian, most
Even
likely
Jack
it's
in the Box.
It's context time. Shreya, give context.
It was Saturday, and I don't eat non-vegetarian on Saturday. I'm strictly vegetarian. We were on a road trip, and I was like, oh, let's have veg rolls. It was actually egg rolls, and I was still like, okay, I'll compromise and have those egg rolls. So me and Santosh, we ordered egg rolls from Jack in the Box. All four of us were on that road trip. Me and Santosh started eating those egg rolls, and Santosh goes like, "Wow, these are the best egg rolls I've eaten in my life. I might have it again tomorrow." And then, like, we almost finished eating our dinner, and towards the end of it, Santosh goes like, "I think there is cabbage or some sort of meat in this. Can you check?" And I checked, and then it did look like meat. So then we made Soham try it, and then we realized that it was pork, because I went ahead and checked the app and the contents of that particular egg roll, which was only like their branding was only egg roll. So I would have never known that it was a pork egg roll. So yeah, that's the context. And after that, I've never eaten Jack in the Box. So yeah.
Yeah.
So lesson learned here is, even if it says contains milk and wheat, it might have chicken in the ingredients. So do check your ingredients.
Yes.
But yeah,
Mhm.
that's a different story altogether. So, do you have any unique resources that you would like to share?
Yeah, the one of the unique resources I would like to talk is the DPS. I think DPS,
What
that is
is
the
DPS?
Department of Public Safety. It's the integral part of USC, which is less talked about. They are responsible for the safety of the students. Um
Why
uh,
are you laughing as you say this, Soham?
Do
no,
you think DPS is a joke?
No, I don't think so. There are many cases where the DPS has handled it rightly. Like if you face any kind of mischief, if any stranger, like,
Mischief?
yeah, from any stranger, or if any stranger harasses you, you can immediately call the DPS.
Can
Is
you,
also
yeah,
responsible for.
can you tell us about the actions that they take, Soham? Like, since I would say they are not that reliable, they will just register your case and then that's it. That's the end of the story. Nothing happens after that. But yeah, Soham may have a different perspective.
It's context time again.
Yeah, one of my neighbors, like, I heard a story that they were making too much of noise in their home. So the neighbors had to call the DPS so that they lessen their volume. So because of that, the people had to, like, to lower their volume, and person can, like, sleep peacefully. So
So
yeah,
noise complaints. So DPS is good at noise
yeah,
complaints. That's what
noise
you're saying, and
complaints.
that's why you
Yeah.
think they are the most
Yeah,
reliable
and
people
even
on
for, like, lost
USC.
and found, if you lost anything on the campus, the DPS is the place where you can find those things. Uh, so yeah, I mean,
Yeah, the
I
probability is
think
very low.
yeah,
I would say like less than 5% maybe. Not that DPS is not unreliable, but just that people usually don't like give them to DPS for the lost and found.
yeah. I mean, uncommon view, but DPS is like very particular about like I think everything in like uh, the university is that way. So if something is not in their domain, they won't do anything about it. So like I think Govind would have an incident to share about it, about his mobile phone being lost on a lift which he was able to track, and he could have simply, if DPS would have helped him, they could have retrieved his phone, but they said that, oh, you lost it and it's not stolen. So that's not under our area of concern. So, I mean, they are very particular about things like that. And noise complaints are things which are like they can do it because they kind of tell students that they'll confiscate their student IDs and stuff like that. But I've heard that, I mean, people still get away with it. So I don't know how reliable it is, but it is a security measure that USC has enforced in addition to LAPD. So it's like a level lower than LAPD, but something to address any kind of student problems that might happen around the campus. Like even if we were working at ITS and some students refused to leave the building at night when we were closing the rooms, at the end of the day, we could just call DPS and have them handle that. So they were there to like try and reduce any problems that students might face on or off campus within the DPS zone, which was like a 2 mile radius around USC. But anything that would happen, even a step outside that zone, they wouldn't care about it. So yeah, that's how.
But okay, now that this conversation has gone very leeway to one end, I'd like to provide the story that I know about. I had a friend who was staying in a building, and there was someone sleeping in their building's hallway, and it kind of creeped them out because like my friend felt that like the guy's homeless, okay, and like he was like, hey, what's up, and he's using the hallway chargers and stuff like that, and he has a mattress over there, he just sleeps over there at night. So they got a little, like my friend got a little concerned. So I was like, you know what, just call DPS and they'll deal with it. And they actually went ahead, had a conversation with the person who my friend thought was homeless, but turned out to be a totally different story. But they resolved the situation, and then my friend never had to face such problems ever again. Like that guy was not no longer a bother to um my friend we're talking about. And like I've also heard of cases where at times when people used to unnecessarily break into the apartments, GPS would help catch them and just take them away to safety. But yeah, like GPS is reliable when it can help.
Yeah, let's leave it
That
there.
was a long pause. Sorry, Soham, we just went into an altogether different segment. You were saying.
Yeah, one of the other unique feature about USC, I think, is the you get free Vmock reviews, resume reviews. You if you have a USC ID, you get 10 Vmock reviews, free reviews, I think, and you
Per
get
year.
even per year. So and also you get you can get professional headshots in USC near the RTCC Ronald Tutor Campus Center. If you want to take photos, or else you will have to pay like $20 to click a photo in CVS or in FedEx.
So best thing, guys, dress up nicely. Go to RTCC on the left side. Take your photo. Get hungry. Go to the right side. Eat food. Go home.
Or get headshots from India.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Like, I got so many photos from India. But
And here
yeah,
we have another instance of
Yeah.
hacks with Santosh.
No, there might be cases where you might lose your photos while shifting or something like that.
keep
Yeah,
an
you can go to
emergency
DPS
bag
then.
like me. You can never go wrong with your emergency bag.
Yeah.
Context. I always keep a small suitcase with all my important documents in it. It is both risky if that gets stolen, but it's at home, so it's secure. And I keep it under my bed. And if there's any emergency, like a fire alarm or I don't know, whatever, like an earthquake happening, I'll take that bag and I'll run. So yeah, I have that bag with me, and the headshots are in that bag. So
Also talking about, like you talked about fire alarm, we all get crime alerts whenever like such like a crime happens, like a robbery or anything like that. So I think that is also like one good thing about USC and the DPS. Yeah.
but
Okay.
how is that speaking about fire alarm?
It's alarm, right? It's basically, I
Oh,
think
Yeah,
that's
alarm.
what the
Yeah.
connection was.
Yeah.
alerts.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we
Yes.
get Trojan alerts on our phone. Like, and if you like subscribe for it, they'll usually send you alerts if there's a gas leak or if there is like a closure because of traffic or because of some event happening. Some roads or some entrances of USC are blocked. We get notified early on so that we can avoid those areas and be safe. Also, what Soham mentioned, Vmock is a software that usually screens your resume and tells you a particular score, and that score is then used to like improve, like whether your resume is ATS friendly and if it's passing those checks, and it will be noticed by recruiters or not. So Vmock is something many people use and get that score up so that their resume goes through the ATS system and then it reaches the recruiters. What the end goal of it is. But yeah,
But is Vmock really helpful, Shreya? Like, I did not find it to be the case because it uses a specific template and you have to stick to that to pass the score. That's about it. But I did not find it helpful at all. Just stick to the template that is commonly used across industries, and you should be good.
yeah,
Well, I think
personally.
the Vmock that we used was still in its beta versions. It was still under development, so we never know if it improves over time.
Yeah, but
I Yeah, the VMOC that I had used in the first semester, it just kept saying improve your score, improve your score. But then I was like, I'm not gonna waste my time improving my VMOC score, and I didn't do
yeah,
it. And I ended up just applying with that resume and managed just fine. So I think it's a personal preference because I know friends who are like, our VMOC score is this, so like our resume will pass. So it's more like whatever gives you comfort, and like if you want to
yeah.
use it as a resource, it's free. Otherwise, you'll have to pay for it. Like I know a USC alumni who I was speaking to, and they recently told me that, oh, we missed the fact that we don't have access to VMOC now. So I was like, okay, so it's a deal breaker for a lot of people. So maybe it's something
Yeah.
important. to like address. But yeah, thank you, Soham, for bringing up Vmock, headshots, and DPS. I'll cover one more thing, which is an interesting resource given by USC. It's the Lyft system. Not many universities provide this, but the Lyft system is basically like an Uber or Ola in India, which we get access to. We get a Lyft pass from USC once we are registered in a term in USC, let's say for spring, summer, and that Lyft pass keeps renewing every single month. So the idea behind this free Lyft zone or free Lyft rides is that whenever it's 6 p.m., the Lyft rides begin, and you can take lifts anywhere within the DPS zone. So the DPS zone is like a 2 mile radius around USC, which DPS or like oversees and makes sure that if any problems are there, they can go and address that. So in that DPS zone, these lifts run, and basically this zone covers all the important things that you will require in your student life, such as the grocery store, which is Ralph's, Trader Joe's. It will have different food outlets which are around the campus. So yeah, it pretty much includes the important things you'll need in your student life. But let's say you want to go far away to places like Culver City, you can't use the lift because it won't be in the DPS zone. And many a times during exam season, when I mentioned the libraries are open 24 hours, the lift is usually available from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. on
Yeah.
exam days and 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. usually. So that's what happens. And usually when the daylight saving time resets or something like that, everyone gets that 1 extra hour of lift. So yeah, that's really fun when you come to US for the first time and you see that it's 2 o'clock and then again it's 2 o'clock, or I don't know, it's 3 o'clock. Something
Yeah.
like that. I'm still
But then you
not
know what,
very.
the opposite happens as well. At times it's like 1 o'clock and then it's 1:59 and then it's 3 o'clock.
Yeah. So you
So
lose
that
an
feels
hour,
sad
you
too.
gain an hour just by being here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I wanted to actually add something to what Shreya said. I was actually curious about the lift zones and how it interacts with the DPS zone. Turns out lift zone is actually a little wider than DPS zone.
Yeah.
It has certain streets to which is marked, like Washington, Expo, and that it's like a whole kind of cube sorry, square of roads. I'm saying cube, but that it kind of spans a little more than the DPS zone. So Lyft is basically it was a program started during COVID, and it is the one of the most it's a matter of pride for US if you're a USC student or if you're a Trojan, because you got to go home for free in a car.
Only
And
because the area is unsafe, they are providing the free lift. It's not something that you should be proud about, guys. Like, just to add context to that, the
I
area
mean,
is
there are
not
many places that
safe.
are not that safe as well, but still you get to go home safely. So
But it's a very big struggle to book lifts, first of all, because at 6 p.m., everyone's just waiting on their phones that we are going to go to RAS, we are going to go to gym, we are going to do this because lift starts at this time. And then as soon as 6 p.m. starts, you'll see a waiting time of 25 minutes, 30 minutes. So, I mean, at times it's better to just walk to campus and you'll reach faster than the lift if it's a prime
Yeah.
time for everyone to book it. But otherwise, it's pretty safe because at night, if you're going for some birthday party or a dinner at your friend's house, if you're coming back, it's very like unsafe to walk the streets of downtown LA. So it's better to just like take that lift and get home, which is paid by USC, but it's indirectly paid by you. So yeah. I
is
mean,
this podcast really amenities about USC, or is it the harsh truths about amenities of USC? I'm confused.
it's just the honest student take about things that like provided by USC. So I mean, it's good and it's also bad at the same time. But yeah, you need to
Yeah.
know like when to use the good things, and yeah. Yeah, apart from Lyft, I also wanted to talk about one more thing, which is USC Insurance. Again, like Lyft, it's extremely controversial. It's more expensive than the regular third party insurances that you can take. Like, I won't name them, there are many that you can take, but they are the insurances that you can opt for, and it is allowed in USC. But if you go for the USC Health Insurance, the only problem with that is maybe the cost, but otherwise it covers a lot of good things. Like you can get all your health checks done for free. There's immunization that is provided to all USC students during, I think, the fall when you just come to USC, so that people are safe from flu or any such seasonal diseases that might happen. Also, before coming to USC, you will get a list of immunizations that you will have to get either outside of USC, that is before coming to university, or you can get it after coming here on your insurance. The only drawback to doing that is you might fall sick here, like after taking that vaccination. So many people prefer to take it in India or in whichever place they are coming from, because they feel that they don't want to come here, fall sick when their classes are just about to begin. So again, it's a personal choice. Many people also feel that, oh, it's better to come to USC and we have already paid for the insurance, so we'll get all the vaccinations for free. So vaccinations is a big part of USC Health Insurance. Also, you can get your blood tests done annually if you are into monitoring your blood levels and checking other parameters. It's extremely useful. Like people who are into fitness usually check that and make sure that they are getting all the essential vitamins and everything looks good on their body parameters. So also one more thing about the health insurance that USC provides is the mental health counseling, wherein you can book appointments through My SHR, which is their health portal, and these appointments can usually be booked online, which is telemedicine, and they can also be booked in person if somebody is comfortable that way. And these services are offered usually like via booking only. I don't know like if you can just walk in for these services, but many people make use of these services, and it has helped them to a great extent. So I would say that these are some perks that come with the insurance. Also,
Shreya, so tell me about this thing. You said about mental health. Can you are there any limits or any sessions, or can you go for how much times you want? Do you know about it?
so I think up to 6 sessions are free, which is considered as short-term therapy or for small-scale issues. That's what I knew when they told me in the intro seminar to it. But if you want to continue going to it, they also have a plan wherein they maintain your file and then they'll refer you to somebody outside of the I believe USC Health Insurance. I'm not exactly sure about it. So that's where copay comes in, and you're expected to pay $10 or $20 copay based on whatever is the charge that will come. But you get an chance to explore your options there as well. So I think it's a fair price, because therapy is expensive in America. I think it comes to $200 or $300 a session. So it's good. Like if you have insurance, all these things become much accessible and cheaper. And many people don't get to try it out like in India or before. So it's a good way to use health insurance here and get your blood checks done, immunizations, mental health, or everything that you require. So basically, it's a very well-rounded approach that USC takes towards health. Also, I believe for everyone who has specs and wants to keep their eye health in check, can use that. Soham, if you would like to explain more on that, Soham, Govind.
Yeah, so just a short point. If you have USC insurance, you get one free eye checkup and a pair of specs for free. So that is one of the benefit of taking a USC insurance.
Oh,
Can
is
you
that
talk
so?
about the wait
Because
list? Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Soham, it's for you. Can you talk about the wait list? Because I have never enrolled for this service, and then I have heard that there is a huge wait list for this service. Can you talk about that?
I think the wait list, it's like 1 month only, I think.
Okay, okay. Because I know
I had
Yeah.
people who
this.
have had wait
Yeah,
list for
yeah.
like at least 3 to 4 months just to get the service done, and then they had to even pay for the lenses or something. It's not entirely free. That's what I heard, but you may have a
That
different
that
take.
and that has been my experience actually. So from what I heard, the eye checkup was free for me, so that's
Yeah.
facts. But from what I know, a part of my frames, like I broke my frame, so I had to get one in emergency. A part of them were sponsored. I think they paid up to 100 or 150 for the frames. But yeah, like you're right, the lenses cost. So like the lens and the frame both have different costs when it comes to eyewear.
Yeah.
And the more number you have in your eyes, the more costlier your lenses get. So that being said, I don't think they cover the entire spectacles, but they cover a certain fee of it, for sure.
Yeah.
I would say that eye care and dental is extremely expensive in the US. So if somebody who has specs is coming to the US, please get spare ones, lots of spare ones, because the cost of one specs here is going to be equivalent to 3 or 4 in India, and it's always better to carry extra ones. But apart from that, I would say that I accompanied a friend for this eye checkup thing, and I noticed that the frames that they have are all big branded luxury brand frames. So it's a kind of like a system wherein you are forced to buy expensive stuff, and then indirectly you will have to pay the additional overhead for it, so you won't get anything for free. And my friend ended up paying, I believe, $100, even though there was insurance and some money got cut because of that. But yeah, I would say it is a resort if you don't have any option left, but otherwise it's better to get it from like your home country. It's always much more cheaper.
What
But
about the people who have bad teeth?
bad teeth,
Yeah,
I
Don't
should they
don't
get a new
know.
set of teeth? Don't come. Done.
Yeah.
I would
Get
suggest to book a flight, go to India, get a dental treatment, and come back. That will be cheaper than
Yeah, I agree with
doing that.
Soham on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we pretty much covered all the different spectrums like that we could have possibly about the USC resources, and we learned some really cool hacks, and I will make sure to include links to the computing centers, to the libraries, to EngageSC, Trojan Alerts, whatever we spoke about in this video. I know it's going to take me an hour to do this, but I'll do it so that anyone who's coming to USC can already do that beforehand and be prepared about it. Also, if you have any specific questions that come to your mind with regards to resources, feel free to drop questions in the comments, and in the comments, and we'll also drop our LinkedIn profiles below in the description. So if you want to reach out to any of us and know more about any specific thing that we spoke about today, we are more than happy to help. Also, I would like to say a big thank you to each of my friends who came here and shared their valuable insights with me today. Thanks a lot for tuning in, everyone. If you enjoyed this episode, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. I would love to hear your feedback on things you enjoyed in this episode and topics you would want us to discuss in the future episodes. Stay tuned and see you guys next time.